following is a Podbeard production.
From the deepest bowels of your imagination.
Actually, he's from Canada there, bud.
From the famed Hodder Show studios, this is The Hodder Show.
What is up, everybody? We are rolling audio and video here today on episode 206 of The Hodder Show. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Thanks so very much for tuning in and clicking that play button on today's episode of the podcast, the first ever full video interview and show here on The Hodder Show. So if you guys are watching this on the YouTube, you are getting the full video version. I apologize already for the awkwardness I'm sure you are seeing as I'm sitting here flailing my arms and all that kind of bull crap. But we have a killer episode for you here today, guys, as I sat down finally with my man Will from the spectacular pop punk band, or punk band, excuse me. He would kill me if I called it a pop punk band. That's for you, my dude. Rawls Royce. They're an awesome punk rock band. And if you guys listen to my review I did of their EP and so on, you know how awesome they are. And if you don't know how awesome they are, pause this video real quick of this podcast and go check them out. I'll wait. All right, so they were awesome, weren't they? We have a great two-part chat. You guys are going to hear part one of that today. And we just kind of hang out. We shoot the shit. We have a lot of really great fun talks. We learn a little bit about him and kind of his background in music, the kind of music he likes, his opinion on a lot of different types of music, a little bit about influences, a little bit about kind of the band, as well as a lot of really fun tangents. It's really hard for me to pinpoint and say, this is what we talk about, because we cover so much ground and it was just such a fun chat. And that's when you really truly know that it was a fun chat for me personally. When I just go, God, it was a great chat. You're going to love it. That's when that's all I have to say. That's when you know it's really truly was just a great podcast. Not that the podcasts I have a lot to say about are not great, but for me personally, as a quote unquote interviewer, those are the podcasts I love when we just have a conversation. That's what this is of part one. Part two, we cover a little bit more about the band itself, a little bit more about how the band started in their writing process and all that. And that is a spectacular part two. But also on this this here podcast, and right now, I did, of course, have myself a couple beers since I was recording an interview with Rawls Royce. I decided to have myself a couple nice Boschkun Brewing Co. Campfire Rye Ales. Spectacular beer. I wanted to give a big shout out to Boschkun. Actually, as I record this, I'm just finishing up my 35 and 18 cream ale. Really, really dig this beer. So cheers real quick. That is spectacular beer. And though this is not Mike's and Beers, this is still the Hodder Show, but I wanted to make sure I give them a quick shout out. And also, I want to make sure I give a quick shout out to the brand new sponsor of the Hodder Show, Seat Giant. Now, if you guys are not familiar with what Seat Giant is, they are a ticket selling website for all different types of events, whether you want a theater event, you want a concert, you want a sporting event, you want a family event, whatever it is, Seat Giant has you covered. Super easy to use, depending on where you are in the world. You can go on either seatgiant.ca if you are in my homeland of Canada, or seatgiant.com for everywhere else. You go on there. Super easy to use drop-down menus. There's no running around trying to figure out where your ticket is. You just go on there, select the type of event that you are trying to find, or you can just search it. It's really easy to use. They have a great map that kind of has like little light-up seats. It's really super easy to use. Even I can figure it out, okay? And let's be honest, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but even I can figure it out and think it's super easy to use. Go on there, select the event you want. You select the seat you want. All the prices are actually on the side, so you can select exactly the kind of price that you want. Whether you want to sit in the absolute nosebleeds and save yourself a whole bunch of money, or you want to be right where the action is on the floor or front row or front ice, whatever you want to call this sporting event. I don't know. But it's super easy to use. And the great thing as well about Seat Giant is they stand behind everything that they sell. So if you have any issues at all with your tickets, if the event is canceled or the stadium doesn't let you in for some weird reason or something, Seat Giant has your back. They know how important these events are to you guys and that you are spending your hard-earned money on these tickets. So if you have any issues, they will fully reimburse you, no questions asked. All you have to do is, of course, provide some kind of receipt or information from the venue that either the event was canceled or your ticket was not accepted. Also, of course, because they are sponsoring the Podbeard Network and the Hotter Show, at checkout, if you use the coupon code PODBEARD, that is PODBEARD, PODBEARD, all lowercase, you'll save yourself a little something at checkout. And who does not like to save money? It is super easy, folks. Seatgiant.ca or .com. Go on there, get your tickets, use the coupon code PODBEARD. Again, that is PODBEARD, PODBEARD, all lowercase. And you save yourself a little something. Have fun, guys. That's what it's all about. Whatever you are doing, let us know. If you are bought tickets through that, hit me up. Hit up any of the other Podbeard Network shows. Let us know. And we'll be sure to throw it over to Seat Giant, the great people over there. And they want to know that you enjoyed your event and what you're going to check out. Now, that out of the way, we're ready to roll into this podcast here in my chat with my dude Will from Rawls Royce. I had such a fun time with part 1 of this interview and part 2. Hope that you guys do as well. Let's get into it. All right, guys, this is really cool because my guest at this time is part of an awesome band that actually hit me up. They were the first band to do that, so that I could do a review of their sophomoric release and so on, which remains one of my favorite reviews I have ever done. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited to welcome from the band Rawls Royce, based out of Toronto, a phenomenal punk band, Will, I'm going to completely butcher your last name, Roelofs.
Oh, there you go. You got it.
I got it. Woo!
You got it. Yeah, you got
8
it.
times a charm,
Good on
bro.
you. Yeah, usually that's how long it takes people. I mean, it's impossible to, even tell people that name. They always get it wrong.
I don't even know why, though. Like, once you told me the pronunciation, I'm like, oh, just
it seems
off.
obvious. Yeah, it's super obvious after that. Yeah. But it's made, talking to banks or credit cards just impossible. Oh,
so if you get like a telemarketer or something, it's like,
you know right away. It's like, you don't know me. Like, you don't know
who
me.
I am.
Yeah, you don't know. Get out of here.
We're calling from CIBC, Mr. Roelofs.
Roelofs. I get Roelofs a lot.
Roelofs. Okay, so I wouldn't see
yeah.
that, but I'm not a professional phone caller, I guess. So
no call center experience for you. All right.
No, God no. So how you doing, man? It's great to finally hook up and do this with you. It's been I know I say that all the time, guys. We're like, this has really been a long time coming to sit down and do this.
I mean, it honestly, man, I've just been playing telephone tag with you. It's like, I send you a text, then you send me a text. It's always like a 3-day, possibly. Then there's 2 weeks. Actually, I wanted to go on, what was it, like a week ago, and I thought that I sent you a message back and I didn't. So that was on me. So that's a my bad moment.
Oh, that's all good. And that's like I literally said to you, like, my life's been a little crazier than usual the last month. So like normally I'd be like, oh bro, yeah, let's do it tonight, no problem. But I was like, like I was looking and I'm like, I had this other thing I was doing for the podcast, and I'm like, do I cancel that? And I'm like, I hate doing that. Like, I hate canceling, but I was like, I really want to do this with them, but it's all good. We're here tonight doing it now. It's a rainy Saturday night out, actually.
Yeah,
but we're hanging out, having ourselves a couple beverages, and Will is breaking the stereotype.
I have a very excellent Earl Grey tea going on here. Might have to make myself another one, but yeah. Party hardy Saturday night, as we do in the band Rawls Royce. We are a band that usually has a lot of beer, and today I was too lazy to go to the liquor store and buy any. So here I sit.
Well, that's okay, brother. I got you covered right here with
good.
this nice,
That's good.
It's nice ice cold Boschkun Brewing Company Campfire. It is a spectacular beer. Very, very good. But so I will do the drinking for the both of us. Not to worry.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You're gonna start like slurring at the end. You're gonna be passed out. I'm just gonna be like, hotter. Wake up. You're still there.
So guys, bro, I've done on my other podcast, Mikes and Beers. I have literally I think it was episode 10 we did. I was literally like, I couldn't really stand up. That's how drunk I was. And like, so the last 10 minutes of that, I think it was about an hour, is like, like it was bad. And like, I'm usually pretty tame. Sorry guys, my pop filters decided to go limp on me. I'm usually like pretty tape isn't the right word, but like I can usually still keep it professional to a certain point. Like I would like acting like I am, but I'm like, no, I was done in. It was bad.
Well, there's always a point where when you're drinking too much that you just become nonverbal, like, and it's everybody. It's always it's like pack it up, man. We used to play a game called the Bone Shaker Challenge when we were in our undergrad, and the premise of it was that you had to finish a 6-pack of Bone Shaker, and if you finished it and didn't get kicked out of the bar, you won.
Okay, now for those who may not be aware,
no one's won.
So for those who are not aware, what is Bone Shaker?
Bone Shaker. It's a fabulous, super strong IPA. I guess super strong for like perhaps Americans, but I mean, no, but I mean, like it's fairly strong. It's like I think it's like 8.1% or something.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's strong. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say so. So if you finish the 6-pack and if you get to the bar and you don't get kicked out or you don't throw up, you win. I mean, obviously you don't win with the hangover. There is no win with the Bone Shaker hangover, but I don't know anybody who's won it, to be honest with you. You could try it with your friends, Otter, honestly. Go with the boys, have 6 Bone Shakers, then show up.
Man, I could only... Okay, so I'm going to say this right now because I like to put this kind of stuff on record. I like to be... Sometimes I've been an idea guy lately on the show. So I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to get this on audio and video, so we have to do it at some point. I think it would be great to have you come to us at some point, or we come to you or something. You sit down and do mics and beers with Sam, Woody, and I.
Oh, easy.
We'll maybe do the Bone Shaker challenge and see how it goes.
My
we'll
God.
do it and then we'll record them. Oh, no, okay. We'll do like 3. Then we'll record the podcast and drink the other 3 during it. I can already assure you, I will not make it through.
That will shave a year off of your life. Like whatever your life expectancy would be, that one evening, 1 year off, just rip it off the calendar. It's over. So yeah, I'm in, of course. I mean,
that would be it'd just be fun just to have you on.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not as fun being in the temperance movement over here, being a teetotaler tonight.
The temperance movement.
Yeah. You're gonna get lots of these like obscure academic drops tonight. That's what's gonna go down. You better get that Wikipedia page just fired up in the side, man. You're gonna...
man. I don't know a lot of the put it this way, man. A word that makes me like anytime anyone uses it in a sentence, and it's very rare. It's a very weird word that I heard, and I was like, that's my new word. And I use it now anytime I can. And that word, it's the biggest word I know, and that word is catharsis.
Oh, catharsis, yeah.
Catharsis.
Catharsis is a good word,
Yeah, and like now it's to the point that and implore. I'll drop implore once in a while just to piss everybody off. Like that's the extent of my vocabulary, man. That's it. That's all I got. Like, I implore you to.
I'm gonna drop some words. I don't know what they're gonna be. I couldn't even tell you what a good big word is. Neo-constitutionalism. There's one.
There you go. Okay, see.
Boom.
Okay, so that's like an acceptable.
People think like I'm just throwing in like, or actually, I think it also goes by new constitutionalism, but either or. I mean that people think, oh, it's just constitutionalism. He's just putting new in front of it. It's a totally different thing.
No, bro.
Refers to supernatural governance in the European Union.
There you go. Yeah. That's probably the smartest thing ever said on this podcast.
No way. Oh no! This is where our band name is a pun on a political theorist. Like this is going to be the podcast. Like you're going to get
really okay.
Oh yeah,
because I was going to ask about that, and I mean there's lots of stuff that we're going to cover today, and I'm sure we're going to jump all over the place. But since we're on this current topic, I have 2 questions. Number one, so what is it exactly like? I know that you were talking earlier about having to do some markings. Like what exactly do you do aside from being the front man of the very fantastic Rawls Royce?
I am doing a doctorate in political science at a undisclosed university that may or may not be in southwestern Ontario.
Shout out to that university.
Shout out to that place. So I'm a PhD student. I teach tutorials. I do a lot of work on my own things, and yeah, pretty boring stuff. Everybody in the band is really overeducated. Our guitar player Mitch, he has 2 master's degrees, and he's out in law school in University of New Brunswick. I'm just gonna out him. I think he has a master's in history and a master's in political science. Our drummer Johnny, he is also doing his law degree out in New Brunswick, but he also has a master's in political management and consulting. I think that's what the program is, and also a master's in political science. And our bass player is a chartered accountant. He's certified, so he does all the band's finances. He likes to call himself the CFO of the band, Kyle.
CFO.
Yeah, and he does our taxes. We get money back.
Hey,
we write off our gas. Yeah, no. We're a serious enterprise here. We don't just
Rawls Royce Enterprises.
Rawls Royce, man.
You guys are gonna incorporate next year.
Yeah, I think we'd be the anti-corporation that's also like a tax entity. I think that's how we kind of move ourselves. We don't make any money. I think everything's at a net loss, but yet we still get money back for that.
Well, I mean, hey, what the hell, right? You're doing better than me with my. I should hit him up and be like, "Hey, bro, I need some money back for this podcast shit, man. What's going on?"
We were actually considering, because there's some friends of ours who, I don't know, they're doing like a Patreon to get their next record pushed through a band called Among Legends, and we're like, okay, maybe we do
nice.
that. Yeah, do you know of Among Legends?
I actually they just played as we record this. This is this past Saturday. You guys are hearing this on Thursday. I think they just played at Nothing Serious's basement show.
Yes.
Pretty sure they just, and I hadn't really, I always hear rumblings of bands, right? And that's my thing. It's like, there's always all these bands I want to contact, and then I lose touch, and I'm like, oh crap, I got to contact this band. I look back at my notes from like a month ago. I'm like, oh shit, I got to contact this band. But I haven't checked out their stuff yet. But I from what I saw from some videos and that, they seem like they're awesome.
They're the greatest people. Like, we've played I think we played, I don't know, 5 or 6 shows with them. We know at least the last 2 Christmases we've done food drive shows. So we've raised food donations and money for the I think it's the Waterloo Food Bank. I never put on these things. I just show up. I just show up, I play. And they also, their singer Mitch is like really, really active within the community. Oh man, you're just down in it. You should just poke a hole in it. just kill her.
Oh, not with this, man. This is I needed to finish this one quick. Like I was,
we're gonna get to the end of this, and I'm gonna be interviewing you like that. I'm gonna turn it around.
You should do that. We should do it. No, we'll do a second part after this and be like, yeah, this is. I'll be like, what? Yeah, man. I think no. I'm gonna slow down a bit now, but I was thirsty. Anyway, sorry. Okay. Please continue.
Yeah. So I mean, we've played with them a bunch of times. I don't know what else I was saying. What was the question? So
it was more of a statement. I was saying that the Among Legends guys, I saw that they played at Nothing Serious's basement show.
Oh yeah.
And then you were just kind of talking about what great guys they are, and
they're good. They're good
charity shows, and
they do charity shows. They're good pieces. They opened for Seaway. Yeah. So like they're doing the big things. Yeah, bigger than us. We just play like people's like cottages and stuff.
Man, but that's like what you guys do is it's cool because like I was saying this earlier, and like I said, guys, we're gonna probably jump off of the place, but before I go with this other train of thought, something that I immediately loved about you guys, and this is not me just kissing your ass because you're on my show. Like I genuinely,
I have enough ass. There's lots of space.
Flattery will get you anywhere, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like when you guys hit, because like I said earlier, you guys hit me up and were like, hey, like we'd like to submit our album, and I was like, yo, this is sick. No band had ever done that before, so I was like, this is freaking cool. Yeah, man.
It seems so desperate on our behalf. No one else would listen to it. We're just like, I'm just gonna go on Instagram and see who would listen to this record. And I was like, oh wow, this guy does all these reviews. And then I listened to the Duck Feed episode, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
That was one of my best ones I did. That was just
those guys are cool. I worked with one of their siblings at a Starbucks last year. Okay. Yes.
Shouts to whoever that was.
Yeah,
Shouts to the guys.
No, Loretta. I know Loretta from there. But yeah, and they're cool. They got some cool tunes. We say tunes around here, tunes, by the way. Okay. Yeah, Rolls Royce. Tunes are not spelled with a two. It's they're two. Yeah, it's spelled with a ch. It's very important. Very essential to our.
We
style.
play tunes here.
Yeah, only tunes.
Rolls Royce Enterprises.
Big Chungus, big tunes.
Big Chungus. One of my favorite memes I ever did, because I did the meme Monday, right?
I saw the Chungus meme.
Yeah, and like I literally had someone message me who like I don't really hear from a lot. They were a buddy of mine. He goes, "Dude, I literally had to just like stop what I was doing and catch my breath. That's how hard I was laughing." I was like,
dankest memes. That's it. Nothing but the freshest with Hotter.
Yeah,
nothing
it's always
dank memes.
Yeah,
you're printing them off the press. You're there
every Monday, except for this past Monday. I shit the bed and I had some ready, but I just before I knew it was like 11:30.
You're letting the people down. Like, you're letting the people down.
I had messages.
Social responsibility to get the dank memes out.
Yeah. I always. It's good to hear that people actually see it, because like sometimes they'll get like one like, and I'm like, oh, so like no one really cares. But then when I don't do it, people are like, yo, where's my memes? And I'm like, what? Like,
you better give me my fucking meme. I swear to God, man. Yeah. No, I mean, where's this meme? Where is it?
Where's the meme, bro?
where's the meme? I got the best memes. All the best memes.
I have all the best memes.
All the best memes.
It's gonna be absolutely spectacular. We have the best memes here.
I saw Hotter's memes. I better memes. I'm not gonna say anything about them. Said my memes are the best. They're just the best.
See, I knew this was gonna be fun, and like,
yeah,
it's just like
have a riot. We're gonna have a riot. We're gonna throw tables down, man. We're just gonna storm the Bastille. It's gonna happen. That's it, man.
Oh man, and it's just
we're gonna do it with history too. We're gonna do it with history. We're gonna do it with politics. We're gonna do it with philosophy. We're just gonna turn this whole system over, man. Do it exactly like Hegel. Yeah, man. Thesis, antithesis, synthesis. That's what's going on here. Ideas.
Oh shit. This is an idea podcast.
This is a big idea. This is
a philosophy podcast.
Joe Rogan, you better grow some hair because we're coming right for you.
Oh shit, calling him out. I used to have like the biggest beef with Joe Rogan, right? Because for the longest time, I was like, you can go back even like 30 episodes ago. I said on my podcast, like, you will never see me do video podcasts. I think that it's stupid. It's not podcasting, blah, 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 blah. I was so against it for I don't even really know why, Yeah. I think it was because I was afraid of it, because it's like, it is way more work, but like.
I get terrifying. I hate people looking at me. Like, I have to look at myself right now, and I'm disgusted.
No, you got some sick flow going.
I'm doing it for the playoffs. I had the beard, so I had to shave it off, and then when the playoffs happen, it's gonna grow out. The flow is gonna happen. Yeah. So
just grow the beard out all the time and just leave it.
I had that.
I think the picture I have for the promo for this, you have a pretty nice looking beard. And I was like, okay.
Well, I had to do this to be more anonymous. If people, if they see me with the beard, they'll know it's me. I have to change it up a bit.
Of course, because you're gonna get mobbed if you even walk outside.
No. Rolls Royce is that big of a band. Flash mobs, just people trying to pull at you like you're in a zombie apocalypse. They just want a piece of you. But they still don't seem to listen to the record. And I tell them, I say, hey, listen, you can come, you can hang out with us, but you really have to listen to the record. You can't just adore us.
Well, and that's the thing too, like in all seriousness, like something I was going to say earlier, like when I first heard that EP, like, I'm going to ask about all this now. But
all right. Okay.
When you first jump into the EP, because I'm the guy who, like, when you guys sent it to me, I was like, I'm going to listen to this start to finish all the way through. That's how I listen to records and EPs. And, the fact that 30 seconds in, I'm going, shit, like, this is really good. But that being said, I'm like, I want to have a beer with these guys already. Like, I'm just like, I don't know what it is. It's just, you guys have this presence through your music that just, I think I said it on my review, like some of the songs, like when you have kind of the, like the harmony parts, we'll call them, where it literally sounds like a bar singing all together. And I'm just like, man, it makes me want to have a couple beers and just like hang out with my buddies. It's just this vibe you guys have.
I like that you got that vibe from that music. There is a fair amount of like, I think, horrific experiences playing shows throughout my past. No, seriously. Like, just bad times. Everybody who's played in a band in high school to like a half full cafeteria, and it just didn't go well. You know, the sound is bad. The audience isn't necessarily receptive. And you're playing some like you spent like, let's say, an entire 3 weeks planning out what you're writing, right? Like, I used to play in a death metal band in high school, and I spent so much time writing music. Like, I spent so much, and I thought, okay, well, if I'm going to play it in the cafeteria, people are going to be like, yo, this is sick. I get this. This is genius. You're blowing my mind. And then you play, and it's just like image versus reality. Everybody looks at you like you have three heads. Like, and of course, in retrospect, you're like, yeah, that was a really stupid idea. I can't just go in the middle of like a Catholic high school at like 2 p.m. and play in a death metal band. Like, that's a bad idea, especially where I went to high school. Like, nobody listened to it. It was like 15 of us, and that was it. And half of them were in the band. I mean, it just wasn't going to work. We were even at the time where, you know, you had metalcore and deathcore and all that, but we were like, no, this is a pure
death metal.
Pure, no, death metal with black metal influences.
Oh, gee.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, excuse me. So it was black. So was it black
and death metal? Oh, yeah,
okay.
absolutely. Very
See,
much
I'm down with
Belphegor, Behemoth territory.
See, I was never a huge fan of that stuff, but like I understand the genre a little bit.
Oh, it's a culture. It's not a genre. It's a lifestyle. And it was like, okay, we're not going to have any karate. You know, there's there's no karate. There's no breakdowns. This hair, unacceptable. I mean, you know, some. It was all. I think if
so, was it the long hair or no hair?
No, long hair.
Okay, that's what I figured.
The no hair is when you can't have the long hair anymore.
Yeah, you just shave it off.
You shave it off.
Skull it.
Oh yeah, you could do the whole Devin Townsend thing.
Yes. I love Devin Townsend.
Strapping young lad.
Yo.
Yeah, no, but anyways, so you play shows like that, and like you have bad experiences, and then after a while, you know, you start to say to yourself, well, what if we worked on music that could get the room in any circumstance going? Like, it would make it impossible for people not to hum along to it, or at least stand there.
Something with a hook.
And what if I could also play music where the guitars and stuff like that could go through the worst amps possible? You know, what if that? Basically, what I'm saying is we invented punk rock music, and it started through.
Basically, what I'm saying is we invented punk rock music.
Oh, we did it. We did it that day.
It was all them.
Yeah, it was. It was
everyone else. It was Rawls Royce back in.
When was this?
When was this? 2000.
Actually, no. Rolls Royce didn't even become a thing. Like, this brainchild wasn't even until like 2016.
So when was this that this was all happening?
Oh, my whole life, man. That never ends. That's a continual thing. You think it's over? No.
Punk rock is evolving every day, bro.
Punk rock has only existed as long as I've been alive. Because
you're like the Shaggy meme of punk rock. I allow it to exist, but when he's only using like 10% of his power right now, guys.
I'm an infant. I close my eyes. I'm like, where did the hand go? You know, object permanence doesn't exist. I think, therefore I am. I think, therefore punk rock.
Shit. That needs to be a t-shirt.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. That's how you do it. You put that on a meme and you smoke it, all right?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and make that a meme, but I'm gonna have to go back.
I would drop this mic.
The podcast is over, bro. Like, just walk away. It's done.
Podcast as a medium is you're breaking the walls. Is this a podcast? Is it a video? I don't know. We're doing both.
No, it just is what it's a show. It is what it is now.
2019. Buckle up.
Strap in, youngins.
Just strap in, yeah. Mask off, baby. Let's do it. All right.
Mask off.
So, yeah.
But like, when you started playing, and I want to kind of transition this into a little bit of other talk as well, just about you and your beginnings with music and that. But
I love when I get to talk about myself. So thank you.
Oh, that's why you're here, bro. And like, this has been great, and I've loved this chat so far. These are the chats like I really truly love, and the fact that you were nice enough to send me this little blurb, And if everyone I have on my show could do this, it would literally make my life just a little bit easier. So that I like to learn things about people when I have them on my show. Like I said, I like to discover things and just chat with people like I'm talking to them in person, right? But when I can sit down and go, oh, Will used to play death metal? Like, what? Or black and death metal, excuse me. It's
hold up. You don't want me to call the police on you, all right? I'm going to call the metal cops, the metal elitists, the real
elitists love me, bro. Oh, they
love
me.
The real Cavelt gang, KVLT, they're coming down for you, man. They're going to take you to the station. Man, they're going to educate you on some really bad Burzum records. You're going to get it. You're going to get it, man.
I'm going to walk out of there in full makeup.
Honestly, if more than one person help you with your record, that's too many. That's not real music. It's not
4
art.
people. It's this the guys in the band or that's
what is this, Slipknot? You got 4 people in a band? Get out of here.
You had someone help you write? What?
Yeah, what? You better play everything yourself, man. You better do it on a 8-track recorder, and then you
have more than one guy in your band?
You sick. You're a monster. It's fake metal. False.
Fake metal.
False, man. That's all false metal.
Make metal great again, bro.
False metal. Yeah, no. Metal was never great. No.
Oh shit!
Only punk rock is great.
That's gonna be the trending. You're gonna be trending after that. It's gonna be.
I'm doing all the
Rawls Royce says.
Yeah,
that metal is dead or metal was never good.
Metal's trash. No, I love metal. I love metal. I can't even say that with a straight.
It's all a joke. It's all a joke. But
I'm like, but then I graduated to the whole prog metal thing. As one does, you get better at guitar, and you're like, oh, okay, there's more than just tremolo picking.
Is there though? Is there really?
Yeah, you sweep. You sweep. You tap.
I still can't fucking sweep, bro. So it's
what are you doing? What are you doing with your life?
You can't even play. I never played
fake guitar.
I'm actually the best thing in my life is the fact that for a period of time I managed an actual guitar store, and the fact that I could not play guitar. Like I made it look like I'd sit down. The kid be like, yo, man, can you play this guitar for me so I can hear it? And I'd be like, of course, bro. And I'd sit there and be like, I'd play like a riff or something and do a little quick, fast tremolo picking or something. And he'd be like, oh my God, you're like the best guitar player ever. But then like a real OG would walk in, a guy who plays blues or something, like a real guitar player would come in.
Oh yeah. No, and I'd be like, no pentatonic noodling going on there.
No,
he's got modes. He's got charts with him.
Yeah, a real OG guitarist walks in and just would sit and be like, "Oh,
bow to your sensei."
Just and some of the teachers they were always really cool to me, but they knew I didn't know shit. I knew about the guitars, and I could definitely sell guitars. Don't get me wrong. I knew enough about them and stuff, and I was passionate, and I was a good salesperson. But I was not. I never taught, and there's a reason I never taught. I had no business. So it's always funny whenever I start talking with people about that, because it's man, I just tune low and just do freaking that's it, bro. That's all I do, man. I don't do anything else.
Honestly, you need to graduate from the hard rock stuff, and you need to get yourself into some New Jersey, New York slam death.
Slam death.
No, seriously.
Give me some names.
Oh, there's a great band called Pyrexia. Yeah, I think they had maybe 2 albums in the early 90s. There's another. I mean, obviously, Suffocation is kind of the birth of slam death metal. You ever listen to?
I've heard Suffocation.
Oh, you gotta get in that Suffocation business.
See, I
could talk to you about old school death metal all day. All day.
That made my life when I read that, because I was when I was when we were kind of preparing for this, I'm listening to a lot of Rawls Royce stuff. I'm like, if you told me that you were this classic death metal, almost a aficionado, if you will, it's I never would have pictured that. But that's what I love about doing this podcast. Is I'll talk to. It's like me with my I'm a huge Hatebreed fan.
Okay. Of course.
I will and have fought people over Hatebreed because they're like, oh, it's stupid. And I'm like, yo,
destroy everything.
Destroy everything. I'm just moshing. what makes us work? Yo, I'm about to mosh right now in this
You about
chair.
to tear this place down,
Bro,
You
don't.
had 2 beers. That you're over the line,
Yeah,
man.
I've had one in like a
You're-
quarter, but like, yo,
You're like
when,
a lightweight. You throw on the
Man.
hate parade on, the white people go crazy.
dude, do not be around me when Destroy Everything comes on, and I'm a couple like, okay, if I get a couple Coronas in me, this is like the typical white guy thing. If I get a couple Coronas in me, and you throw on
are there
Destroy
limes
Everything,
in these Coronas? Because if there are not limes in these Coronas, get the fuck out of here.
that's the only. I don't actually drink Corona for the record, but okay, let me rephrase that. Okay, you got a few Coors Lights in me, and you put on Destroy Everything, I will destroy everything.
You got to be the real like white guy boomer dad and crush those bushes, them bush cans.
Oh man,
You crushing bush cans? Whew, what are you doing? Like bush cans and Deep Purple, and you're there.
That's Deep Purple and cargo shorts and
Oh yeah,
or Rainbow. That's another band.
Rainbow.
That's
Yeah.
fucking
Ronnie
Rainbow.
James Dio.
Oh, dude.
I mean, oh yeah. As a Kiss fan, like, how do you deal with the sort of beef between Ronnie James Dio and Gene Simmons?
How do I personally deal with it?
How do you deal with that?
Because I just like,
Because Dio hated him. Like Dio
Yeah.
hated Gene Simmons.
and I mean, I can't blame him for that. Like, you know, you get like, I would love people always will ask me like, oh, it's like, so what's someone who was like, it would never happen, but you'd love to have on your show one day? I said, it'd be Gene Simmons for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like only 5 minutes. I said, yeah, because I couldn't do any more than that. Because he'd walk in, he'd be like, I haven't done my Gene Simmons in a while. Hang on. I can't do the voice, but I can do the cadence. Let me get some Bushcon real quick here.
I mean, he doesn't drink, so you're kind of breaking
So
character.
I've already broken character.
Yeah, it's already done.
He'd come on. He'd be like, we're joined by Gene Simmons. Gene, how are you? And this is Gene Simmons from Kiss. And that's it. Like, I'd be like, all right, you can go now. What do you mean? Like this, that's it. That's the extent of what I need. This is Gene Simmons. So you got to get the click in there. From Kiss. And you are listening to The Harder Show. And I'd be like, hey, you can go now, Gene. Thanks.
Yeah, that's it. We got our soundbite. Goodbye.
I got my soundbite, bro. You can go.
Yeah.
But before we continue on with Will here, I'm going to take a quick second to hear a word from my man, Mr. Jason Reese from Jaybird Digital Arts.
It's your guy, Jaybird here from Jaybird Digital Arts, reminding you to tune in to the Hotter Show podcast. Hell, tune into all of the Podbeard Network shows, and not just because they support Jaybird, but because they're good. And I'll give you a discount on design work if you do. Beat that deal, I dare ya.
All right, so we're back in it. We've been having a good time, just kind of hanging out, and we've been going all over the place, but I'm sure there are people who are tuning into this that are like, man, I thought you were going to be asking him some stuff. And we've kind of already touched a little bit on the kind of like your early career, if you will, with music and that. But I'm curious. I always like to talk to people about this. What was like the first music that you ever heard and that you ever like were really exposed to?
Well,
Assuming it wasn't black and death metal.
No. But like I started definitely listening to heavier music as a kid. My dad was a big Black Sabbath fan, and I was pretty much raised on Sabbath as like just a necessary part of my diet. I loved Black Sabbath. I remember being like 5 and going on Napster and downloading Black Sabbath songs. I think I downloaded. I was like Napster. I downloaded like Black Sabbath. We went to Mexico once, and I heard like Rammstein and like Linkin Park's like Hybrid Theory era record. And I remember I was listening to all that back then. And this is, I don't know, a million years ago now. And then
I don't think Napster's ever been brought up on this podcast, by the way.
That's good. Yeah, no. We're real millennial hours.
We're dating ourselves saying Napster.
Oh, yeah. Only 90s kids remember. There was that, and then I remember asking my mom to buy me a Nirvana CD when I was like 10, and my mom's like, that stuff's too depressing. Here is Nevermind the Bollocks. Here's the Sex Pistols. Here, take it.
There you go.
And my mom, I'll give her credit. She's the one who introduced me to punk rock in particular. So like Sex Pistols, Ramones, Dead Kennedys. There's like the story where my mom drove Jello Biafra, who is the singer of the Dead Kennedys, to the airport. My mom was like big into punk in the 80s. And in Toronto, I mean, people forget that there was a vibrant punk scene here, but there used to be. Like there's the Demics and the Vile Tones and the Diodes, who I guess are more of like a pop punk kind of band. But for that time period, they're pretty cool. Yeah. So that kind of stuff. So I think compared to like me and a lot of the other guys in the band, like the stuff I listen to is probably more older punk. I'm not really as big into pop punk. True confession. I just write pop punk.
I mean, we defend pop punk here on the Harder Show. I have a lot of friends in pop punk bands, so we do defend it. But I get, because I didn't get pop punk, bro, for a long time.
I was like, it's punk,
don't. But it's happy. What like it sounds happy, but it's not. And then like I think it was, I give a lot of credit to a great band that was called We Are X. Don't know if you've ever heard them before. They were
I don't listen to any new pop punk. Just
they were great. And the guy's name's Lee was his name. Shouts to Lee if he hears this for some reason. And also them, and then also a great band called Beyond the Wall, who was the guys in Nothing Serious. It was their old band. Those two bands really, because like I was like, they're such great guys. I'm like, I guess I'll give this pop punk thing a chance again. And then like I kind of got it. I was like, oh, it's just like happy go. Okay, I'm dancing around. I'm eating some pizza. Like we're having a good time, you know?
The pizza, yeah.
It's it.
I see pop punk as like I didn't realize that I actually did like pop punk. Like pop punk kind of has like 3 waves. I mean, people like to say that there's like 2 waves of pop punk. There's the stuff that came out in the early, or you have like Green Day, kind of all the way going to like Sum 41 and like that span between like 1994 and like 2003-ish before it kind of got into the whole pop emo thing. And then there's the revival, which has happened sort of, with Story So Far, the Wonder Years and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
kind of that very like modern pop punk stuff.
Yeah, the stuff that Neck Deep and all those kind of State Champs and stuff like that, Waster, whatever. But I like to also think that there's like the first wave, and I think the first wave is the wave that really doesn't get as much recognition, which I would say like even the Ramones is like a pop punk band. The Buzzcocks,
the Buzzcocks.
The Buzzcocks, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Buzzcocks are like perfected.
Like not super familiar with them, but like I know the name
band.
And their legacy. Yeah.
If you're gonna check out a record, you check out like if you're gonna take anything from today. I mean, firstly, number 1, start a slam band. If you're not starting a slam band, what's wrong with you? 2, listen to the Buzzcocks. And they have a really great singles collection called Singles Going Steady, and a lot of their work was this mixture of really kind of catchy guitar parts and song lyrics that focus primarily on relationships. Although they were like they played one of the first show, like one of the rare, I think there were only several shows of like the Sex Pistols and the Buzzcocks opened for them, and that was actually a really big show that took place in Manchester that would inspire a lot of the Manchester bands like Joy Division, the Smiths, New Order, etc., etc. So I don't know. I see them as being like an absolutely essential band, and definitely essential for, I think, our writing.
But in a band that doesn't get a lot of recognition,
doesn't get enough.
It's not a name you hear a lot.
No, people don't just be like, Buzzcocks. It's like people say the Ramones, and I mean, the Ramones are definitely important. I mean, even if you compare like the Ramones to the Sex Pistols, the Ramones' lyrics and what they were talking about wasn't necessarily political all the time. They had some songs that were political, but a lot of it was, Joey Ramone's sort of fascination with love and kind of being like a teeny bopper icon. And that's why even they did a record with Phil Spector, was kind of to tap into that. Do you know who Phil Spector is? Absolutely crazy.
I know the name. Yeah, I know the name, of course,
So he co-wrote Imagine by John Lennon.
Okay, yes. Okay, yeah. That's how I know the name.
And he did. He was popularized in like the 1960s for creating the wall of sound. So like if you ever heard the song "Be My Baby," be my baby. If you listen to it and you really kind of pull apart the whole song, it has like these big instruments, these big drums, and it was stacked, and they used to play in all like one room. and it was to get that sort of reverberation. And that's like one of the big influences on the Ramones is that kind of pop music from the 1960s. And in fact, I think the Ramones have a song called "Do You Remember Rock and Roll Radio," which is, I think, on the record that was produced by Phil Spector. And that in and of itself was very much this sort of obsession with 60s pop. So I think, long story short, I think punk rock in and of itself has always had this kind of pop rooting. And the whole people say, oh, well, pop punk isn't real punk. It's not political enough. It's always kind of been there. It's always been at its sort of core. I mean, punk rock is people not being able to play their instruments and trying to play with a degree of energy that I think makes the room feel something.
It's
and sometimes that's political,
3 or 5 chords and something to say.
Sped up Chuck Berry riffs. That's what it is. And the attitude is fuck you, regardless of the content necessarily. And people say, well, punk is an attitude. I think so. I think the downside to a lot of punk, especially stuff that isn't pop punk, is the commodification of it, and you're looking at it as an aesthetic, as a fashion. Is there a mohawk? Isn't there a mohawk? There are boxes to check, and things become generic like that. I mean, metal is like that too, where it just becomes more about the sort of playing into the signifiers of the culture than necessarily producing music that is inspiring. But this is also coming from a guy in a Rolls Royce who plays 3 chords. So that is my criticism.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think at the core of what you're saying, I do completely agree with. And I mean, something I say a lot on agree with
it. Please
don't. Oh no, I do. Like really,
fight me. Just fight me. Come across the screen.
See, the thing
fight me in real life.
I'm not like a metal elitist by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm certainly not a music elitist either. Yeah. If I was, I wouldn't be doing this podcast, because I would just be like, I find that the new Nothing Special EP. I mean, it was okay, but I really feel like I'm not doing that. Like I'm not going to be that guy.
I'd say in the band, like I'm definitely the biggest music elitist, like piece of shit. And I like. Yeah, oh, absolutely. No, I mean, like a lot of it was I did my undergrad at U of T, so in like the early the peak hipster era, and so you like got yourself in a circle
like the 2012-ish kind of
2010 to like 2015. So I was that was peak. It was right there. Peak,
everyone was starting to look like me a little bit. Like they were wearing plaid, they had a beard. I even have the hipster douchebag haircut now. Like it's. Oh,
I have it. I'm in like I feel like the hipsters have kind of gone extinct a bit. I don't know. I think it was after Donald Trump. It was just like people. Oh, look at that! Yeah, you got the big side shave. Yeah, you're doing the whole thing.
It's the first time I'm showing it on. My hair's a little greasy, guys. I got stuff off work. I apologize, but yeah.
I know where
I'm going full like. I'm just embracing. I don't even care. I'm a douchebag millennial now. I don't even care.
I am way too cheap to get haircuts. That's why, like, I got the flow going. I am so cheap.
It works for you. It works for you. But like, and I don't think there's, when it comes to being a music elitist, like, don't get me wrong. I certainly, my friends will tell you, like, they'll be like, oh, no, did you hear the new Foo Fighters? And I'll be like, why would I listen? I literally, bro.
Poor Dave Grohl, man.
And I mean, like,
he just wants your love.
I love. Don't get me wrong. I like, basically. Okay, this literally happened the other day. My friend's like, "Hey man, did you hear the new whatever it was?" I used the Foo Fighters as an example, but like, and I was kind of like, well, I'm listening to the new Single Wound EP. Yeah. It's really inspiring stuff. And I started going on this tangent about.
I listen to local music. I don't know if you've heard this band called Single Wound.
Dude, they are absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, the best thing that has ever happened to music. Like I'm just like, I'm all, and like when literally like he's just like, okay, man, like yeah, cool, like I'm sure they're great, but he's like,
what about this new Foo Fighters record?
And I'm like, see, here's the thing you need to understand is Nothing Serious just dropped a brand new single. And while you are over here dealing with your lamestream media, I'm over here really paying attention to the people. And like, I'm just like, sometimes I'll get on my little soapbox and I'm like, I listen to only bands that, I think are really, truly it. And it's like, I love like radio rock stuff. I love like my favorite band's Alice in Chains, right? So like I mean, love
Dirt is like
stuff.
one of the best albums ever.
Bro,
So,
I want to cut a
game.
podcast one day with like multiple people and just have them on to talk about Dirt because I'm like that's my favorite Alice in Chains record. So like, but like, and I still like 9 times out of 10, if you catch me hanging out listening to something, I'm listening to like radio band or a band that signed or whatever. But like when it comes to like people showing me like, like just don't bring up Greta Van Fleet around me and we'll be fine. Like, just don't fucking do it. Don't do it.
Greta Van Fleet's just a meme. The Greta Van meme.
I've talked a lot about them on the show, and I got love for the guys because they seem to be talented cats. They really are. They are talented guys. They write good songs. Here's the issue I have with them, and I'm saying this again on record.
Okay.
Here is my issue with Greta Van Fleet. Every fucking interview those guys have done, the singer mainly is the one that I just want to strangle him. Not actually, but like I'm sure he's a nice guy, but like he sits there and goes, yeah, well, I'm actually a really big Steven Tyler fan. Fuck you. Get out of here. Yeah. Oh, I'm actually highly influenced by Steven
around
Tyler.
The entire, I'm like, sure you
really?
Are. Really? Maybe the fashion. I could see that. No.
I can't do it. I'm just like, yo, just admit that you guys are huge Led Zeppelin fans and he inspired you at least a little bit, and I could move on with my life. But until that day comes, I refuse. Every time their music comes on, I can't. I have to turn it off. I can't do it. I'm just there. Whoa! I'm like,
hey, Robert.
Does anyone else not hear that?
Hey, Robert Plant, what are you working on? Oh, hey. Yeah. So I didn't get to go to class the other day. Can I just copy your notes real quick?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, true. Yeah. No,
sure?
this is good stuff.
Just make it look a little different if you can.
Yeah. No, I mean, like they get. I think. I don't know, man.
They do get a lot of hate
every year, there's always a band that is kind of too close sounding to other bands. I mean, people said that about Wolf Mother. People said that about like the Sheepdogs. I mean, the Sheepdogs sounded like CCR at times.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Kill me.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
God,
please kill me. That song was on way too much on the radio,
bro.
This
is the saltiest.
Oh, man. That's because you're catching me late at night. No.
I'm getting you.
Yeah. Again, like because there's a period of my life where I only could listen to the radio, and the Sheepdogs were an unfortunate victim of a point in my life where literally every hour that song was on.
Yeah. Oh, so
and
bad.
It was from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Every hour we'd hear that song. I'd be sitting there like, okay. First time I heard it, I'm like, oh, that's a great tune. Yeah, that's pretty cool, And then it's like, okay, kill me. I can't listen to the song anymore. It's just like I can't do it. So I'm like,
yeah, they had like the whole, they had the whole Cinderella story, being discovered in that whole Rolling Stone thing. But I mean,
and I'm happy for them.
Part of me was just
I'm glad they had success.
After a while, I'm like, man, I just want to listen to CCR. Like I just want to put on Fortunate Son and pretend I'm playing like a Vietnam era Call of Duty game. I mean that's what I want to do. And watch Platoon and scream at Charlie Sheen. Like, or whatever. Martin Sheen's in Apocalypse Now. Either way, CCR is just Vietnam War music. I mean, everybody knows that. That's what it is.
I think it was
folks at home, like
that. To wave the flag. I think it was
that red, white, and blue.
I think we're gonna keep going. I think it was a Family Guy. Cause I'm a huge Family Guy fan. I think it was a Family Guy skit where they're talking about Quagmire's talking about being in Vietnam or something, and he's, there's a lot of things they prepare you for in war: the blood, the violence. But what they don't prepare you for is the extensive use of CCR's Fortunate Son. And then it like pans to him in a helicopter. And it's playing, and then it's like, I'd hear that song anytime I was in a helicopter, deep in the jungle, standing on guard. Even when I went to the whorehouse, my penis would play it. And then it cuts to him in a whorehouse, and it's like, it's going like, it's like going in and out. Like, oh my, and then like, he's like, yo, Quagmire, calm down. You weren't there. You didn't hear the songs I heard. It's like,
you didn't see what I saw.
Yeah. Oh no, it was what I heard, because it's like he doesn't care about the war. It was the use of Fortunate Son he couldn't take.
He just couldn't deal with all the Fortunate Son. Actually, can I pause this really quickly? And I don't mean this to be rude, but my computer's gonna die if I don't plug it in.
No worries.
Consider that. I didn't consider that at all.
No worries at all. So we're gonna pick this up again. Actually, I think we'll end this off here today, and we will pick it up with Will next week. We're gonna jump back into it. We'll talk to you again in a bit, buddy.
Okay.
All right, guys, there you have it. My chat with my dude Will from Rawls Royce, phenomenal punk rock band based out of Toronto. Not punk band. Hope you guys enjoyed part 1 of that chat. Part 2 will be up next week, so look forward to that. I hope that you guys enjoy it. It was a fun chat, this part 1, man. Just really, like I say, you never really know what you're going to get when you sit down with someone for the first time. But with Will, like, I knew we were going to have just a really fun, random chat for the first half. I didn't know we were going to do 2 parts when we sat down, but we were halfway through the first part and I was like, my man, are you good to do 2? And he's like, let's do it. You know, I know he had fun as well. So it was really great. I think you'll definitely see Will again on the show, probably in the fairly near future, because that was just a lot of fun to do. And like I said, part 2, we kind of get into more of the nitty gritty band stuff. So if you want to learn a little bit more about Rawls Royce and kind of how they started and their writing process and all that, tune in to part 2, because we do get into that. I promise. It's a little bit more of a slightly structured interview, whereas this was just kind of a fun conversation podcast, and that's what I like to do. So again, shout out to my dude Will, and of course, if you want to check Rawls Royce out, you can check them out wherever you find your music, and as well as in the description below in this video, or if you listen to the podcast audio version, it is in the description for this as well. Check them out, because they're great dudes and they have some spectacular music. If you guys follow me, The Hotter Show, on social media, you will have heard a little bit of their music in the clip version on Instagram. I use the instrumental version of 6 Beers, which is a phenomenal tune that they have that I'm really, you go through those phases where you just listen to a song on repeat like crazy. That's me right now with 6 Beers. That is, it is my song right now. And it's just a perfect song for just hanging out. It's a quick song, but Rawls Royce are one of those bands that, like, no matter what you're doing, it just fits the vibe of just hanging out. And definitely, if you were a fan of that part 1, you will surely enjoy part 2. I don't know what surely is. I don't know. I'm also pretty freaking tired as I record this. It's like 1 a.m. I've been up since like 8. So I'm getting a little tired. I do apologize if I'm like, I promise I'm not drunk or anything, because I'm only a couple beers deep. Again, drinking this nice Boschkun 35 and 118 cream ale, and I had the wonderful Boschkun Campfire Rye Ale. Again, I promise this is not Mikes and Beards. That's not what this show is going to turn into, doing the video thing. But either way, I do thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're on the YouTube, leave a like or a dislike. If you think I suck, that's okay. I still appreciate you taking the time to hit that dislike button. I really do. But if you do hit that dislike button, you're probably not going to hear this anyway, because if you hit the dislike button, usually it's just people running through, oh, this guy looks like an idiot, I'm going to dislike it. That's okay. But if you do hit the dislike button, or you don't like something I do, let me know. Comment and say, hey man, I think you're an idiot and you should not be doing a podcast. That's fine. It's all good, bro. Or bro or broette. I still love you. It's okay. Thank you for listening. I still appreciate it. But let me know. And if there's something you love about the podcast, let me know too. I always love to hear from you guys and love to chat with you guys. As this show continues to progress, now that we're bringing in the video a little bit more and stuff like that, I want to do what I can to better myself as a podcaster, because at the end of the day, I'm here to entertain you guys. And if there's something I'm doing that you guys are just like, man, like this is just not doing it for me, let me know. Especially if you are longtime listeners of the show, as I know there are a few of you who have been with me basically since day one. And I do thank you for that. And I do love you. And you know that. You're basically my family. I mean, come on. So a quick group hug. Quick group hug. Come on, we're gonna. Oh yeah. Feel the love. Yeah, it's okay. Man, you smell good. Anyway. But be sure to hit the Hotter Show up wherever you can find that. Again, if you are listening to the audio versions, Thank you very much for that as well. I do appreciate it. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, whether you're listening on the iTunes or the Spotify or the Stitcher or the Castbox or however you listen to the show. Hit that subscribe button. Again, if you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. There is definitely more to come. Also, be sure to hit that bell button, that notification button. I do seriously appreciate that, so you're notified of new episodes of the show and other videos that I do, as I will probably start throwing more video content out there as I go, just for something to do and for fun. You know, that's all this is. This is something I do for fun and I do to entertain you people. Also, be sure to hit the Hotter Show up on social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all under at The Hotter Show, as well as on the web, podbeannetwork.com/The Hotter Show. And while you're there, podbeannetwork.com, check out some of my friends, some of my pals in the Podbeard Network. A lot of great content there. My dude Boy Stick, my dude Dark Runner, my dude Josh from the Still Loading podcast, Creeper Sleep, Matt and the Goon always kill it. And, Mikes and Beers, I guess, is a pretty good show. That one co-host, though, TJ, is kind of a dick, but, that Craft Woody guy and Sam are awesome. They're awesome. Be sure to subscribe to everybody. Check them out. As well as, any podcast, any indie podcast. The podcast world is very overfilled with, I'm going to just say it, junk and people who should not be doing a podcast. And I mean, at the end of the day, who am I to say that? Am I someone who should be doing a podcast? Probably not, because I'm just some random dude. But when there's a celebrity who is just trying to collect the paycheck doing a podcast, I can't stand that personally. I can tell it's fake. When they're sitting there in their microphone and they're like, oh, so anyway, it's like, you're bullshitting me. I know you're selling me junk, and I know you are, and I don't personally like that. And I'm it's like I said, it's late, so I'm just kind of going off at people and stuff, and I do apologize for that. But just be real, in life. I've said this a lot on the show, especially like late last year. I was really saying this a lot, where we are put on this earth, in my opinion, to do whatever we can to make someone else's day just a little bit better. And if I can add a slight bit of joy into your life, if you're having a long day or you're having a long commute and you throw on the Hotter Show and you maybe get a couple laughs, or I make you think, or, you just have a good time, then, thank you for that, because that's what I'm trying to do here. And it is truly something I believe that I was put on this earth to do in my own small way. So thank you very much. And I'm going to sign off here before I keep going on and getting all weird and sappy for some damn reason. So again, be sure to hit that subscribe button, follow the Holler Show on all the different social medias. And of course, be sure to check out my dude Will from Rawls Royce. Tune in next week for part 2. Part 2 is just as kick-ass as part 1. We get into more of the band stuff. And with that, I'm going to sign off here today, guys. And I'll catch you next time on the Holler Show. Take it easy, guys.